Our scene is set in St. Augustine's Church. It has been a couple of hours since both Diedrich Graves and Emma Bellafleur had reported to the new Prince of Reno, as well as the sudden but necessary visit of the Seneschal. The Prince has moved his bookkeeping down to the chapel on the first floor. The ladders still remain where they stand, toolboxes set down for easy retrieval by the kine the following day. Almost a snapshot, a moment frozen in time from when the workers left to go home to their families and rest for the evening amongst the neon glow of the city, leaving behind only the dead to walk in their passing. The father is distracted from his internal thoughts for a minute by the buzz of his cell phone. As he picks it up, he notices that he has received a message from the harpy that was recently nominated, recognized, however you would put it, by the Seneschal and himself. The message simply reads, "A new kindred has come to this city and is seeking an audience, along with," and then just the words A+1. Ricardo Alvarez almost raises an eyebrow at this. But then he remembers that he had rumors that a certain sheriff from New Orleans might have been coming to the city. He had heard about this individual before. If she had brought along a colleague, possibly an understudy, they could be of great assistance to the city, especially in such a dire time as now. For with Reno's finest and his own, well, should we say, his former coterie, still trying to deal with the recent upheaval amongst the kine of the city, as well as looking towards the surrounding cities for the threat of a Sabbat incursion, they could need skilled individuals, such as Madeleine de la Rouge. And so he sends a reply text. And within, I'd say, about an hour and a half, a car pulls up into the parking lot of St. Augustine's Church. And the two kindred arrive. Also out of character, I totally butchered Madison's name. Crap! Madison! Madison, not Madeline. Madison.
And LaRouge.
That's what
Just
I
Madison
said.
LaRouge.
I got the last name. Anyways, the two exit the car. They will see a priest standing before the entryway. They see that he is not surprised to see them, although, judging from the regular intervals and possibly the weary look on his face for possibly being up far later than he's used to, the two of you can easily make a guess that he is Kine, possibly a ghoul in the employ of the new prince of the city.
Mm-hmm.
He will sort of look at the both of you and then address the one who approaches first.
Yep, that'll be me.
In that case, he will look at you and say, "Are you Miss de la Rouge?"
Yes, I am.
Ah. The good father is within. He has had a very busy night already, so please, he asks that you make this as long as it needs to be.
No
And with that, he
problem.
will open the door and humbly bow to you.
And she'll nod to Rena and lead the way
Who's
inside.
standing stock still at the moment, glaring at the church.
Move.
But it.
Move. She points to for her to walk ahead.
Fine. I hate churches.
And is this new kindred to the city enters the church mumbling this. Madison can see a very confused and discerning look cross upon the kind's face, but he remains stock still himself, awaiting for the two kindred to enter the domain of his master.
I apologize. She'll smile and say to him, I apologize, she's new to the city.
He will not respond, but he will look at you and just give a simple nod in recognition.
Rena will look somewhat apologetic and say, sorry, and kind of duck her head.
Then they'll continue inside.
As soon as Madison enters, the ghoul will close the doors behind them. It's not a long walk until you enter the chapel, and you can see that it has recently undergone some very, very drastic renovations. You can see plastic hanging from several parts of the old architecture. You can see several new layers of paint that have been added, several areas that look like they're being separated, so that way they could either be possibly demolished or expanded upon. The one place that remains unchanged is the great, I suppose, altar that lies at the very end of the pews, where the priest would normally give their sermon. And, of course, a little nook located on the left-hand side when you enter, where several hundred candles remain, all of them lit. It is very dim right now, the only light coming from the candles and from a hallway that's located near the pedestal before the grand center of the church. There is a person who is sitting at the pews within shot of the light. You might notice him first, but before that you will see the shadow that he casts. A very smoke-like shadow, almost ephemeral in quality, also distorted, almost giving the appearance of a very malnourished human, almost a emaciated corpse.
Okay.
What
Can I
also
roll?
brings your attention is that the shadow turns to the two of you, even though the man is still sitting forward, looking up at the great stained glass windows, depicting the holy moments,
Okay.
the great saints, and all the others that align the chapel of the cathedral.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm looking to roll kindred lore, intelligence kindred lore.
Mm.
Can you do mine as well?
Yes, I can.
You have my sheet.
Yep. So 4 for Madison. I actually made that mistake because I forgot she's in Scylla, so she gets 2 in kindred lore.
Mm.
Do I know?
Do you?
Do
Oh,
I?
do you? It is
Very blatantly clear.
very painfully, blatantly clear.
Okay.
That individual right there is, without a doubt, a La Sombra. It might have been a bit confusing before if you had gotten a little bit low, perhaps some sort of other strange creature that shadow seems to be distorted, but the fact that it seems to have a life of its own, and the fact that you have been told that the prince is here, and the rumor circulating around the city that the prince is not only anti-tribu of some clan, but also a former priest, well,
Mhm.
it all just adds up. The prince
Okay.
is the individual sitting there.
All right, and she's rolling 5 because she has 4 intelligence and 1 kindred lore.
All right. The both of you notice this.
Okay.
What do you do?
Just continue smiling, waiting for him to look up instead of the shadow.
Do you approach? Do you just stand in the center between the rows of pews?
No, I'll step in front of him. Or not directly in front of him, but off to the side, still on the aisle.
Do you step across the shadow?
Nope. Nope.
And
before
will stay
Rena,
behind.
I'll let Rena go, and then push her around the shadow. And she's like, no, we're gonna go around here. Just right there.
You'll notice
Rena would have followed Madison, staying behind her.
As the two of you step into the beam of light that is emerging from what looks like a entrance to a hallway, your own shadows that are cast, the shadow of this man seems to follow them and almost reach out with what looks like a very audibly clawed hand. But in an instant you see the individual's head turn, and sitting at the pew he just looks down at his shadow, at which point it seems to freeze, and then just retract. And then he will look up and go, "Good evening. I believe one of you has requested an audience tonight. Which of you two? So you're Madison, if I'm not mistaken."
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Reno. I hope our little big city has not been causing too much trouble for you these past nights. That is good. I must apologize for you coming at such a eventful time as now. I'm sure you could have gotten an audience far sooner if it had not been for the recent staff change with management, as it were. But
I heard
enough
only
about
briefly
that.
on it.
Yes. So let's get down to why you and your friend, as he looks at the other person standing here, why are you two here?
I'm here because I'm from New Orleans. I'm not acquaintance of Mr. Kent. We knew each other back in New Orleans.
Give me a awareness empathy.
Perception aware?
No, I'd say perception empathy.
Perception empathy? Okay.
Yeah, that seems. Unless you want to do awareness empathy.
Or
I think it would be perception empathy in this part.
yeah, we'll just do that. So 7 dice.
Let's see.
Just 1. What's the difficulty? Just standard 6?
Let me see. Let's see how well he does on his roll, and we'll decide the difficulty from there.
Manipulation subterfuge. Oh, damn it. he did quite well.
So only 1 for that 10. So 1, 2, 3, and we'd say it would probably be 6. So
Okay, so 1 success for me.
only 1 success. In that case, we will say
Nah.
you'll see that he does react at the mention of Philip Kent and that you're an old friend of his, but you don't know in what way. But that name does mean something to him.
I worded acquaintance, not friend, not associate. It's just simply acquaintance. Like that.
Nonetheless,
Yeah.
you do
I
pick
know
that
him.
out with 1 success. As he will say, it seems that we are picking up quite a lot of refugees, as it were, from the other cities. It is, if any more arrive, our little city is going to have a reputation of it, a sort of haven for the dispossessed and the unfortunate.
That's actually why I'm here. Refugees from my city and refugees from the city of New Sarum. I'm trying to figure out what happened in New Sarum and why we are losing so many cities.
As he'll sort of lean forward at this and look at Madison, he is going to try and do a perception empathy against that statement right there, unless you are not even trying to hide anything.
She's being incredibly truthful because she is wondering why in hell, like, either a city is spontaneously combusting, being overrun by Sabat, or anything. It's just like, I'm wondering why the hell this is all happening.
In that case, you will see the prince's eyes just sort of stare at your words, trying to glimpse whether or not you're telling the truth, and after a moment he seems satisfied with what he has glimpsed. I am curious, Miss Delarouge. What exactly is it that drives you towards this? It is noble. Very noble. Camarilla would benefit greatly from more people with your initiative. The initiative to seek out our enemies and put an end to them. To ensure that our society is a peaceful one, without fear of the night and what it brings. But it is uncharacteristic of our condition.
Her fingers are like messing around. She's trying not to clench her hand. And because in the last scene, she walked out to the car like, I am not getting involved into politics. I am not getting involved into politics. I am not going to get involved in politics. And already the prince is just like, what is driving you to protect the city? It's just like, oh dear. Oh dear. What drives me is my previous reputation. I was sheriff of New Orleans.
I am aware. Do you feel that the complete destruction of the structure of the Camarilla for the city leaves a blemish on your record? On your performance? I have heard no such thing myself, but then again, we hardly hear anything from New Orleans nowadays.
Say that one more time.
Oh, he's basically saying, do you feel
You're frozen.
Oh. He said...
Hold on. Give yourself a minute.
Can you hear me now?
Dead.
Hello?
I think her internet's going down.
Hello?
Can, like,
How about now?
am I the frozen one?
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Can you
Anyone?
see me now? I can hear you. I think I was the frozen one. Give me.
Okay. Well, and now we go to an internal monologue. Perhaps this is a gift. Perhaps this is some sort of divine intervention. He had just spoken with the sheriff very recently, this very night, and here, against all odds, a former sheriff appears before him. One who, from what he had been able to gather, has a very good record, seeking to redeem herself in the eyes of her peers. How fortunate indeed, thinks the prince to himself. Can you guys hear me now?
A little bit. I was running to plug my computer into like the actual internet because it looked like I was the frozen one.
Okay then. Just want to make sure that it's catching all of this.
Okay.
All right.
Give me
Okay,
one
we'll
second to
continue
check
then.
on Annie.
Right now we'll just continue, and Annie should be back in a second.
Okay.
So, the last thing the prince said, while his internal monologue is going on right now, he asked Madison if she believes that her failure to keep New Orleans from falling to Sabbat left some sort of blemish on her record or her performance, trying to see if this is some sort of matter of pride to her.
I think it left a blemish on all of New Orleans because we had held such a stronghold on it, on New Orleans.
There we go. I'm back.
Okay. Go ahead and get yourself all set up. We're just going to continue talking, and we'll just say you were listening in.
The prince will sort of tilt his head ever so slightly. Do not let what happened in New Orleans reflect on your character, Madeline.
Madison.
Madison, son of a bitch. Ah!
Anywho.
Madison. New Orleans was blindsided. There was very little that could have been done. To lose a prince so suddenly, and then to have another one disappear, it would have been a miraculous task to have held a city after that.
Patrick McKinnon did not disappear. He ran also. We all ran.
That
Patrick
is
McKinnon was
news
a
to me.
dear friend.
I once met Patrick McKinnon. It was before he was prince. I was just passing through at the time. I stayed with an old friend of mine. Perhaps you've heard of Sister Mary Celeste.
Briefly.
She is a very well-respected member of the faction I belong to, and she granted me succor on my journey to this desert paradise you see before you. As you can see, his words are thick with sarcasm near the end.
She'll try not to thoroughly laugh, but she'll chuckle.
I did not know him too well, but he was a man of honor, and that was rare. So that leads me to believe that you too may be a woman of honor. And the city could use people like you.
This face that you're seeing right now, she's trying to hide it. I don't. Let me see how well she's hiding it.
Okay.
I'm gonna see how well she does this. Oh, please don't let me watch. Please don't let me watch because he's probably gonna be like, what's going on with
Rena's
this?
sitting there thinking, going, in her head, going, "I told you so."
And if you dare say it out loud, she's gonna growl at you. 5 dice for this.
Keep her mouth shut.
5 dice for this. Damn it. Oh.
My turn.
I know. Don't read me like a book.
Perception, empathy.
Yeah. I'll just go with that. Oh,
So this will be 6. Difficulty
No,
6 as well?
It'll just be the standard 6, since I failed. 1 success.
1 success. So he catches something. You did fail, but it's not a complete success. He definitely tells that this has a very interesting effect on Madison. He'll say nothing. He will just sort of lean back and take this strategic moment to let her sort of simmer as he turns his attention to the other kindred room. And who is your friend, Miss De La Rouge?
We're working on friend right now. She's staying with me on the account of a friend, an old friend. He needed to drop her off somewhere safe and thought with me would be safe.
So she's not your childer.
Nope. She is of that honorable clan, like Patrick McKinnon's.
As he'll just sort of nod his head. And what is your name, young venturer?
Katarina Crawford, sir.
Crawford. Welcome to Reno.
Thank you.
Do watch yourself, both of you, while you're within the city. You need not worry within the domains of our kind. But this city is unique. Perhaps you have heard of the...
Give it a minute. Try again.
Perhaps you have heard of the reputation that Reno has acquired over the years.
The highest divorce rate in the country?
So just sort of stare at Madison.
Sorry.
No expression.
There's a small chuckle from Rena.
It's the small history I found, while researching. It actually has the highest divorce rate.
No. That is not the rumor I was talking about.
Oh, then pray do tell. Please.
There is something sinister lurking within the bounds of this city. Something that's not us, but threatens both kindred and kind alike. Does that surprise you?
No, it interests me.
Good.
Do we have any lead? Oh boy.
You walked into that one.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Subterfuge. Boom. As the prince will smile and again lean back and say, "How would you like an official place in court, Madison LaRouge. I cannot guarantee something up front that would be in bad taste. You are an outsider as of right now. Like all outsiders, you must undergo a probationary period. This rule was somewhat lax under the
Give him a minute.
but I believe in meritocracy. And if you
Give him a minute.
possibly guarantee you a job where you will be able to indulge both your curiosity and your desire for justice.
If that is what my prince wishes.
We shall see. A strange event is going around right now. People, kine, are beginning to forget loved ones who have passed away. We believe it might be the blatant manipulation of one of our less than subtle kindred brethren. But a lot of things are not what they seem at first glance here in the city. We have suspicions right now, suspicions that something far larger is going on, something that involves both our city and many others in Reno. And an enemy of ours might be moving amongst the shadows. So, Madison, Sheriff of New Orleans, if you were to investigate this matter for me and give any assistance to our own head of the Reno's finest coterie, Miss Alex Blackmoon, in the investigation of this matter, then I will not only give full support to you and your friend to not only stay within the city, but to get on the fast track, as it were, to become a full-fledged member of the court. If you do it well, you may even expect further rewards. How does that sound?
That would be a pleasure, my prince.
Good. And what of your friend? Is she skilled in the same field as you?
I'm still learning that. Rena, care to elaborate?
I'm more of the technical support, sir. Not so much a fighter.
That is no matter. In order to remain strong, we will need all the talent we can muster, and that includes learning the new tricks and trades of the kine. If you prove useful, you too can receive fast track to becoming a full-fledged member of the court.
Thank you, sir.
So, let it be known that I, Prince Ricardo Alvarez, hereby grant Madison LaRouge and Katerina Crawford permission to stay within the city for the duration of at least half of a year. You are free to feed amongst the flock so long as you seek request from the owners of the different domains. You are welcome in Elysium. And the courtesy of our fair city is at your disposal, should you need it. You will be protected like any other kindred of the Camarilla, and if need be, we will grant you succor. But should either of you break the traditions or pose a threat to the city, my hospitality will be revoked. And let's just say the least you'll need to worry about at that point is being banished into the desert with no shelter of your own as the sun begins to crawl towards the horizon. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good. Then go with grace unto God, my new arrivals. Welcome to Reno.
Have a good evening. She'll give a slight bow of the head and turn, making sure to watch for that shadow.
And again, it just seems to look specifically at the both of your shadows as you again cross. It doesn't reach out or anything this time, but it seems to no longer see them as soon as you step out of the light and your shadow vanishes with you, and then goes back to staring like the prince at the grand mosaics that line the walls, the gilded splendor of the church. Yes?
I'd laugh if it went.
Nah,
I love
that's
it, like,
totally an
laughing and
Emma
go.
moment, not a Ricardo moment. Anyways,
Yes.
the ghoul will open the door for the two of you and wish you both a pleasant evening,
I'll do the same.
and close the door behind you. You can hear the sound of locks being put back into place. And the two of you can head back to the car. Feel free to discuss amongst yourselves right now.
Rena will just look at Madison with a smirk and go, I told you so.
Shut up.
That
She's
lasted
trying not to
a half
bark.
hour?
She's trying not to bark, but she just goes, shut up. Get in the car. Get in the car. Get in the car. She. And make a perception alertness. You're gonna be rolling 3 and 4 dice. So 4 d10s.
Oh, 4d10, sorry.
Okay.
Working on it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Roll.
Then hit roll.
Okay.
Yep. You see her shaking. Like her body is rigid, like her muscles are tense, and she is like jaw set, muscles tense, and she's just strolling to the car. No, 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 no.
Rena has started to lose her, I guess, quietness, and she's starting to get some of her usual snark back by this point in time. So she's still kind of snickering to herself. Essentially irritating the hell out of Madison.
I promised Nikolai I would not kill you. I promised Nikolai I wouldn't kill you. I promised Logan I wouldn't kill you. I'm gonna stick to my ghoul's promise of not killing you. Get in the car!
Rena sobers slightly and gets in the car, realizing that it would not be wise to push the crazy doctor, as Nikolai likes to call her. And so she gets in the car and quickly gets on her phone.
And is she messaging Nikolai with updates?
No, not currently. She seems to be reading something or another.
Do you ever put down that goddamn phone?
Not really. Why? Here. Not really why.
I'm not gonna grab the phone. I'm not gonna touch the phone. No.
Goes back to reading.
Turns the engine over and drives off, trying to figure out what else they could possibly do tonight.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where our scene will end. Have a lovely evening.